If I asked you to think about one thing that all youth players care about when it comes to pitching, what would come to your mind? Now, I know that if you've heard any youth baseball chatter when it comes to pitching, everything always comes down to velocity. It's how hard you throw. Youth players, and honestly some coaches too, are obsessed with throwing hard. But is throwing hard and pitching the same thing? Just because you don't throw hard, does that mean that you can't be a great pitcher? I'm here today to let you know that pitching is so much more than just velocity. There are countless examples of great pitchers who don't really throw hard. And on the other side, there are also great examples of hard throwers who aren't great pitchers. In today's Bullpen Bulletin, I'm giving you 3 ways that you can be a dominant pitcher, no matter how hard you throw. Hey team, I'm Coach Hart, this is Building Better Baseball, and this is the best place for baseball education. If you're new to the channel and we're just meeting, then welcome to the team. If we've already met before, then welcome back. This channel is for youth baseball players and coaches to help them improve their game. I come out with weekly videos to help you in all areas of baseball. And plus, at the end of the video, I always have a free PDF downloadable guide for you that's down in the description to help take your game even further after this video is done. So don't miss that at the end. But now, let's make sure that we know how to dominate the mound without velocity. Number 1, the first way is change of speed. So we're going to quickly change gears and talk about the task of a hitter. What does hitting a baseball come down to? Timing, right? Hitting is all about timing the pitch to swing at the right moment to get the best contact that you can. So back to our topic of pitching, what does pitching come down to? Disrupting that timing. Pitching is all about messing up the timing of the hitter to make them swing at the wrong time, to either get a swing and a miss, or to get a weak hit that the defense can field and get the out. This is where the first point comes in. If you can change the speed of your pitches a significant amount, then you will be a dominant pitcher. If you can throw a changeup that's at least 8 to 10 miles an hour slower than your fastball, that's all you need. It doesn't matter how fast each pitch is. A 10 mile an hour difference is the same for every velocity. If you throw your fastball at 70 miles an hour and your changeup at 60, that's the same thing as somebody who throws their fastball at 90 miles an hour and their changeup at 80. The hitter is seeing the same speed difference. Now, obviously a faster fastball is harder to hit, but so is an off-speed pitch that's 10 miles an hour slower. Trying to increase your arm strength and velocity is not an easy thing to do. It takes years and years of work to increase even 5 to 8 miles an hour on your fastball. You know what's easier, quicker, and will make you a better pitcher? Throwing an off-speed pitch with an 8 to 10 mile an hour difference off of your fastball. That's a dominant pitcher. And no matter how hard you throw, you will be successful and you will get outs for your team. Now, it may not be flashy or light up a radar gun, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get outs on the field, and changing speeds will do that for you. Number 2, the second way is location accuracy. Building off of the first point of changing your speeds, you can be a dominant pitcher if you can locate every pitch that you throw with precision accuracy. This is really the backbone of a great pitcher. Everything you do builds off of your ability to locate your pitches. If you can't locate, then nothing else can happen because location comes first. Velocity doesn't matter. You could throw 150 miles an hour, but if you can't throw a strike to a specific location, then you won't be on the mound because you'll be walking everybody, right? Luckily for us pitchers, the strike zone is not the size of a small phone screen, even though some umpires might think so. It's big enough where you can pitch to different locations that are far enough from each other to change the hitter's vision focus. Now think about it. If you're a hitter, wouldn't it be pretty easy to time and hit a ball that's thrown in the same location every time? You wouldn't have to look anywhere else because the pitcher is only throwing to one location. Being a great pitcher means that you can change the hitter's vision focus, basically where they're looking. You never want to throw to the same location with the same pitch more than 2 times in a row. If you can locate your pitches in all 4 edges of the strike zone, high, low, inside, and outside, then you will be a dominant pitcher. You'll have the hitter confused and looking all over the place, not knowing where to focus, which gives you the advantage. Combine this with the first point of changing your speeds. Trust me, you're going to forget all about throwing hard because you're going to have more fun messing with the hitters and making them look silly when they swing and miss. And hey, if you like this video so far, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my weekly videos exactly like this one. Now let's move on to tip number 3. Number 3, the third way, is pitch movement. The last piece of the puzzle for being a dominant pitcher is having movement on your pitches. Now, this is probably the hardest one of the 3 points to accomplish. And when I talk about movement on your pitches, I'm talking about all pitches. I'm talking about your fastballs and your changeups. And now, I'm not going to talk about spinning pitches because I believe that players shouldn't throw those until at least 8th grade, preferably high school. And I actually did a full video on this topic that I've linked in the description if you want to check it out and see my views on curveballs in youth baseball. Normally, a good changeup will break down in the strike zone and do what people call fall off the table. That happens when you have good pronation on the release of the pitch and you can get it spinning in the right way. And pronation is basically when you release it, you turn your hand to the inside a little bit and you get the ball rolling off of your middle 2 fingers like this and get the ball spinning in the right way. That's pronation. That movement combined with the location and being 8 to 10 miles an hour slower than your fastball is the best pitch in baseball when it's thrown right. If you can master that pitch, then you will be a dominant pitcher. The last thing I want to discuss is a 2-seam fastball. The seams on the baseball are what makes the ball move so much in such a short distance. The wind catches the seams flying through the air, and that causes the ball to move in a certain direction. When you throw a 2-seam fastball, if you throw it right, it should tail to your arm side. So when you release it here, it should go in and tail to your arm side. And that is a deadly pitch for a hitter because it starts out in one location on the release and moves to a completely different location when it crosses the plate. And lastly, you can also mess around with your arm slot. Your arm slot is where you throw from. So you can throw from up top, you can throw from here, right? Arm slot creates movement. And the lower your arm slot is, the more movement you're going to have. Because the lower your arm slot, on the release, that creates side spin on the ball. And the more side spin you have on the ball, the more movement you have on the ball. To wrap up this video, I hope you've learned that pitching doesn't mean that you have to throw hard. And just because you throw hard doesn't mean that you're a great pitcher. Being a great, dominant pitcher means that you know how to play the chess game with the hitter. You know how to mess with them based on your change of speed, your location accuracy, and the movement on your pitches. None of that has to do with velocity. Throwing hard is just a bonus when it comes to pitching. If there's one place that you can really show off your pitching skills, it's tryouts, right? I know the tryouts are happening for fall teams right now, and it's always nice to have a little edge on the competition. If you need any help with preparing for your next tryout, I have a free guide on how to best prepare for baseball tryouts down in the description. This guide explains 5 simple things that you can do to fully prepare for your next tryout. It's free, and I made it for you to give you that edge on the competition that you're looking for. So be sure to grab it before you go. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope this video helped you understand that just because you may not be throwing the hardest on your team, that doesn't mean that you can't be a great pitcher and dominate the mound. Pitching is a chess game where velocity doesn't really matter. It's just a bonus. I'll see you next week for another edition of the Bullpen Bulletin.